Okay, so for today's class, you'll see I'm actually just using my mat. I'm not even going to use a block today. If you do need any kind of padding for knees, then obviously have that ready for yourself, or maybe a little pillow for underneath your head. But I'm going to do a focus today on isometric work because I know a few of you have said, cool, we want to give ourselves that little bit of a challenge and a review. So guys, isometric work basically means that you are contracting the muscles, but without actually moving your body anywhere. So like your classic example of that would be holding a push-up position. So some people call it a plank position, other people call it front support basic. In yoga, they call it dandasana or chaturanga dandasana. So it's all the same thing. It basically means that you're holding and then not moving. And the really nice thing about working isometrically is that it stabilizes the joints in whatever position you're in. And for some people that have difficulty recognizing certain muscles, like maybe the neural pathways aren't firing up as quickly as they should be, or maybe you've had an injury or some kind of trauma, some kind of surgery, that maybe also inhibits those neural pathways. It's a really effective way to start firing up those muscles and those pathways again. So we're going to start incorporating that into our session today so you have a physical experience of it, and then I'll talk to you about what we're doing as well. Okay. And as usual, if you guys have any questions, I've muted the background conversation, but if you have any questions, then please feel free to just like write a little message or unmute yourself and you can jump in and we can open up conversation. All right. Okay, so we are going to be starting in a resting position today. So please come onto all fours, and then I like to open my knees nice and wide and bring my big toes together to touch. Settle hips back. If you need any kind of padding underneath knees, under pelvis, under ankles, feel free. So I know some of you have ankle injuries. Make sure that you feel comfortable. Walk yourself forward until you can bring your head down to the floor or onto a prop or your hands. And then just spread your fingers out nice and wide. Almost give yourself a little bit of a stretch through the centers of the palms of your hands. And then take a nice deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, just let your hands soften and relax. Let them settle into an open shape on the ground. Relaxing into the neck and into the shoulders. Letting your spine, your pelvis, your rib cage soften and relax, and find the most restful shape that works for you this morning. And just taking a few conscious breaths in and out here. Letting yourself take pause for a moment. Noticing how your physical body feels. Noticing your joints, your muscles, your fascia, and perhaps even just noticing your skin. Take a moment now to notice how your energy feels this morning. And perhaps noticing if the energetic and physical aspects of your body are synchronized, if there's harmony, or perhaps if there's a bit of a disjoint between the two today. And you don't have to change it, just observe. Give yourself that reference point as we start today. And we're going to take just one final breath in through the nose And then just hold your breath at the top for a moment. Long exhale through your mouth. And if your eyes are closed, you can blink your eyes open and start to draw yourself up slowly onto all fours. And you might feel that there's a little bit of movement of circulation into your lower limbs. Start to bring a little bit of circulation back into your neck, your shoulders, and your arms. So staying in a neutral spine, start to shift your body weights forwards and backwards. So we've done this in a few of our classes on this series. And again, one of the reasons I like this very gentle movement is it gives us a sense of weight bearing on the upper body and then weight bearing on the lower body. It gives us a sense of connecting into our lower abdominals when we come forward, right here. And it gives us a sense of connecting into these upper body muscles, the latissimus dorsi, as we shift our body weight backwards here. And now bring yourself onto all fours and stay for a moment. Tuck your toes under. We're going to be hovering our knees off the ground. So find the most comfortable position for ankles and wrists. And on your next breath, see if you can lift your knees off the ground. If your knees don't come up, it doesn't matter, as long as you're weight bearing on your hands and on your feet. Stay here and breathe. This is our first isometric exercise for today's class. Nothing is moving, but I'm pretty sure everybody can feel something working right here. Please double check that your head is in line with your spine. So your head is lifted, your chin is into your voice box. Take a nice easy breath and then allow your knees to come down. Let your feet relax out the back and stay here for a moment. Let's move into a cat stretch. Start rounding your spine all the way up towards the sky. Stay for a moment, feeling the curve of your back, and then start lengthening your spine. And we're going to come into an extension of the spine. So stay here for a moment and just feel that gentle shortening of those back extensors. And again, using your breath, rounding through the spine, and then lengthen, and it is a gentle extension. Let's take two more. Mobilizing your spine forwards and backwards. And remember when you extend here that you're not letting your belly just hang underneath you. It's still firm and supportive. Taking one more round. And then come back onto all fours and stay here. Get your wrists in a happy place. Slide your right leg back. Firm up those lower abs. So as you pick up your leg, there's no dropping into the lumbar spine. And then flex the foot, flex the ankle, so you are pressing out through the heel. And now we hold it here. So this is our next isometric exercise. Nothing is moving, but because you have your leg lifted, we are extending at the hip joint. So hopefully this is starting to wake up gluteus maximus on the right, the upper section of the hamstrings, and because I'm asking you to keep your legs straight, so your knees extended, you might also be feeling the quadriceps muscle on that right side. If your upper body is working a little bit as well, okay, that's normal. Having to weight bear and stabilize the shoulder girdle. Take just one more breath. Point your toe and bring that knee all the way in. Center yourself. Left leg extends. And as you bring that leg up, double check lower abs are connecting underneath you here. Flex the ankle, so you're pressing energy out through the heel of the foot. So be aware that if you lift your leg too high, you're going to reach a point where the lower back drops, okay? And that's actually then loading the lower back too much. So keep your leg just at the height where you can feel your pelvis is stable, and the workload is coming into gluteus maximus, upper hamstrings on the left side, and then the left quadricep is working. Upper body is staying nice and stable. Stay here for just another breath in and out. And we're going to point and then bring that knee all the way in. Let's take the pressure off the wrist for a moment. So reach the right arm out to the side and coming into a thread the needle. Just let your head settle, coming into that lovely twist, and then slide the left hand all the way forward. Now, in this thread the needle, nothing is moving, but this is not an isometric exercise because we're not actually weight loading anything. So there's a difference between a stretch and isometric work. We're not actually contracting or weight bearing any muscles or joints right now. You just get to relax into it. Taking one more breath in and out. And now bring your left hand onto the ground. Press yourself up and reach the right arm out to the side. Now, hold it here. This is isometric work. We are stabilizing. Gravity is acting on a force right now, And can you feel how your left shoulder girdle is kicking in? Maybe you can feel how the obliques muscles, the abdominals are kicking in underneath you. Taking one more breath in and out. And now bringing the right hand back in. Let's do the other side. Left arm reaches, coming into a thread the needle. So this is just a little bit of a reprieve for our wrists. Slide the right hand forward. Settle yourself into that little release and stretch. Keep breathing. And now, bring your right hand onto the floor again. Come all the way up and stretch that left arm out. So now in this three-legged table position, we are weight loading and we're coming into isometric work yet again. Bring your awareness to your right shoulder girdle. Bring your awareness to your abdominals, your obliques, finding your connections, and then bringing that left hand all the way in. Nicely done. Now tuck your toes under. We're going to be going into a downward facing dog, so I'm just tucking my shirt in. But to get there, we're going to go through that 4-point hover again. So on your next breath, stabilize, and then lift your knees just up off the mat. So find your stability, and then move your hips back, move your hips halfway up, stay here for a moment, and then pedal the heels down. So this isn't really truly isometric work yet because we are moving slightly. We're focusing on the release and the stretch up the back of the legs, the calf muscles and the feet. And now send both your heels towards the ground. Now I'm fairly comfortable to straighten my legs, but if you're not, then please just do that. That's no big deal. And now we're going to settle into this position for 8 breaths in and out. Connect your thumb and forefinger and roll your shoulders backwards in their sockets. Relax the back of your neck. Energy up through your tail and energy down through your heels. And this is now an isometric exercise. Stay with your breath, feeling the connections of your hands and your feet to the ground, allowing yourself to breathe, allowing yourself to stabilize and find all the connections through your body as you hold yourself in space. Notice how your arms are active. Taking one more breath in and out. And then slowly release all the way down, bringing your knees to the floor and then releasing your feet back. Stay here. Stretch the right leg back, lifting the right leg up, and stay here just for a moment. We're going to keep the toes pointed now. Round your spine and draw your knee to your nose. Lengthen your spine and reach your leg back. And we're going to do two more. Round your spine. So it's a cat stretch position, knee to nose, and stretch back. Now on this next one, we're going to stay here. Round your spine, knee to nose, and hold it. See if you can keep that curve of your back, the lift of your belly. See if you can keep your foot lifted towards your right bottom. This is isometric work. I'm sure you're feeling it. The lower abs, your hip flexor, your hamstrings, your upper body. Take one more breath in. And now stretch your leg all the way back. Woo. And now step your foot through between your two hands. Move your foot a little bit forward. If you need padding underneath your knee, go for it. Walking your hands all the way up. Oh my goodness, and that's actually quite a nice release for the upper body. I'm sure you can feel the triceps working. So guys, just make sure you have your balance and that your front foot is completely flat, that you don't have your heel lifted here. Start to bring your body weight forwards and backwards so you get that opening into the hip on the left side. Please just make sure that your lower back feels good with whatever position you're coming in and out of, so you're not forcing it. Let's just take a few more. And we're going to do one more. Bring yourself into a position where you can actually hold it. Now, this needs to be active. You're rooting into that front foot. Release both your hands. First, just bring your arms forward in line with your shoulders. So this might be the position you hold. I want you to firmly connect the front foot down so that your right bum is firing up. If this feels okay for you and you want to challenge, why don't you bring your hands up so that you're framing your ears? And if you want to go a little bit more than this, you can look up, lift up through your chest slightly, and then hold it here. Now keep rooting into that front foot. Stay with your breath, and then this is your isometric work. Your abdominals are connected and your front right leg, the bum cheeks are connected. Keep breathing, energy through fingertips. Taking one more breath in, and then release, bringing your hands all the way down. You can be flat hand or fingertips, whatever feels good for you. So you can stretch that right leg back, and then bring your knee all the way in. Make any adjustments you need. We're going to do the left leg now. Left leg extends, lift your leg up, keep your toe pointed, and now Round your spine, knee to nose. And then extend your leg back. Reach through your toes and reach through the top of your head. And again, round your spine. And extend back. Now on this last one, round your spine and I want you to stay here. Little bit of isometric work for hip flexors and abdominals. Press out of your hand, and the higher that you keep your foot lifted towards your pelvis, the more you're going to feel the hamstrings kicking in. Staying for one more breath in and out, and then release, stretch all the way back. And now step your foot through between your two hands. Help yourself. Walk yourself up so that you can find your balance, and then just double check your positioning. Is your front foot really grounded? Start to move a little bit forwards and a little bit backwards. So getting that lovely release into that right hip now. Keep breathing. And then bring yourself into a position that feels good for you. Make sure you're rooting into your foot. Release your hands. And then just bring your hands in front of you as your first option. So for some people, this is already enough of a workload into that front leg. And in particular, the gluteals are hopefully firing up. If you want to increase it, reaching the fingertips up. And if you want to go even a step further, look up and coming into a gentle extension of the spine. So holding this isometric position right here, waking up left gluteal, waking up abdominals. Make sure that you can still breathe, by the way. And then on your next breath, bringing your hands all the way down. You can come to fingertips or to flat hand, stretching that left leg all the way back. And then bringing your knee all the way in. Open your knees wide, big toes touch. Once again, settle yourself back. So you're going to come into a resting position and just put your hands wherever they feel good for you. Just taking an opportunity to pause and make your breath slow down. Bring your awareness to your physical body and how you're feeling. Noticing your joints, muscles, connective tissue, and your skin. Take a moment to notice your energy. And then just observing if there has been a shift in either one or both. Are they synchronizing? On your next breath, bring your hands a little bit forward. Draw yourself up onto all fours. And once again, we're going to be coming into a downward facing dog position. So tuck your toes under. Lift your knees just up off the mat. So finding that stability in your 4-point hover. Move your hips up and back. Once again, just pedal the heels. Finding that little release. Send both heels down and just settle yourself into your shape for a moment. Now lift your right leg up, not too high, keeping your pelvis level, flexing the ankle, pushing out through the heels, and we're just pausing here. So this is called a three-legged dog. And notice with the asymmetry, how we are loading slightly differently into the joints. And this is isometric work. Notice the work coming into your standing leg, your left leg. Notice the work coming into your left upper body to maintain symmetry. Now point your toe and then step your foot all the way through between your hands. Help yourself as much as you need to. Now this is a little bit of a challenge, guys. Bend the back knee a fraction, but you're not resting it. Walk your hands up onto your front knee, bringing yourself upright. Now it really helps if you focus your eye line. If you're losing your balance, just put your hand on something to hold yourself there. Use your hands on the front leg just for the first few moments and make any adjustments to your body weight coming forward or backwards so that you feel as centered as possible and that you feel you have weight on both your legs. Now you can stay here. Or perhaps you would like to reach the hands forward. Or perhaps you'd like to bring the arms up. Hold it here. We're not doing an extension of the spine. If you would like to increase the challenge, see if you can bend your knees and come down a fraction, but without resting on the floor. Now, so find the position that works for you. Maybe you're here with your legs up a little bit. And this is now our isometric work. And now you're going to be working the front quadricep and gluteal. And can you feel that you are working the back quadricep? Stay with your breath. Take a break anytime that you need to. And on your next breath, come all the way forward, place your hands down, and then step back into your downward facing dog. Make any adjustments that you need, pedaling out through the heels. It's a really challenging one, guys, so pay attention to how you're coping with it. Make the adjustments you need. Both heels reach down. Pick up your left leg, and again, it's not a high lift, it's a precise lift. Keeping your pelvis level, three-legged dog. Isometric work. We are holding and we are breathing. Notice the weight load on the right standing leg and on the right arm. Taking just a few more moments. And now point the left foot and step forward between your two hands. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle if you need to. Now, bend the back knee, find your balance, and walk your hands up. At any point, if you feel that it's too much, then just take it down a level. Hold it there. Make the adjustments to your body weight transferring so that you feel symmetrical between your two legs. And then reach forward. Hold it there. You can reach your arms up if you wish. And then you can bend your knees a little bit more to challenge if you wish. We breathe. Notice how your front foot is rooting, your back foot is helping you balance, and there's a sense of opposition reaching up through the fingertips. Keep breathing. This is a challenge. And now reach forward, placing hands flat, step back, downward facing dog. Take a moment to breathe. And then lower both knees all the way down. Release your feet back. Round your spine into a cat shape. Sit your hips halfway back. Pop up onto the tips of the fingers, holding it here. And if you want to, you can do some gentle fascial release. 2 more. 1 more. And hold. Place hands flat. Come forward and lengthen your spine. So, is everyone feeling okay? So we're going to do a little bit of side bending work now. So tuck your toes under. Lift your knees just a fraction. Move your right hand under your face and pivot your ankles, knees, pelvis, and then reach up through the top hand. Find your balance. Now with control, lower your hips all the way down, and you are in a side sitting position. Now take a look at your right hand that's on the floor. Make sure your fingertips are pointing away from you. You're going to bring your left hand just onto the bottom ribs and start to bend the right elbow and press up. Make the adjustments you need. Bend and press. So apply the information that we've been talking about in the last few classes, where you want to glue your scapula to the back of your ribs so that your upper body, your shoulder girdle, is stable. So this is an isometric class. So here it comes. Bend your elbow and stay. This is isometric loading. I'm sure you can start to feel the back of the arm, the triceps muscle working. You can feel all the muscles around the shoulder, maybe the rotator cuff. Hopefully you can feel something underneath the ribs and the armpit there. That's lats and serratus. Take 1 more breath. Press all the way up. And you're just going to bring your knees in a little tighter. Hold onto the ankle as you come upright. And then let's just do a long side stretch. Taking a nice easy inhale. And then all the way up you come. And you're going to bring yourself once again onto all fours. So guys, we're going to be doing the other side. I'm just going to turn around so I don't have my back to you. Tuck your toes under. And when you're ready, lift your knees just up. Move your left hand under your face, your nose. Pivot through the ankles and feet. Let your knees shine forward and come into a side bend. So this is also isometric work. You can probably feel the lateral line of the body engaging here. Keep pressing out of that arm and then gracefully, without hurting your shoulders or your neck, bringing yourself all the way down. So take a look at what your hand is doing on the left side. Fingers pointing away. Right hand comes underneath the rib cage. And we're going to do just a few little tricep dips. Using the first few repetitions to notice how it feels at the joint. And if you need to adjust the position of your hand or arm, or change the angle at which you are bending and straightening. Keep that stability across your back. And now bend your elbow and you hold. Isometric work. Please keep breathing. Start to notice the activation of all those muscles, in particular the tricep. Also noticing what's happening under the ribs, through the shoulder, around the rotator cuff. Taking 1 more breath in and out, and then pressing all the way up. Bring your feet a little closer so you can hold on. Lift up, long stretch over. Well done, guys. And release. So from here, pivot so that you're sitting on your bum cheeks. Knees bent, feet slightly apart. Bring your arms out in front of you. Take a breath. Exhale, just come halfway way back into your half roll back position. Stay for a second, breathing in. And then exhale, come forward and lift up tall. I just need to straighten myself on my mat. And again, exhale, curl back. Take a little breath. And exhale and lift up. Now this time, half roll back. And we're going to stay. I invite you to close your eyes if you wish. We're coming into an isometric contraction. This time keeping the loading onto the lower abdominals, onto the hip flexors. Make sure that you're still able to breathe and that there's no strain or pain into your lower back. Staying for just a few more moments. If your eyes are closed, you can open them. Take a breath in and exhale, forward you come and lift up tall. Let's just do a normal half roll back again. Exhale. And just notice if the connections kick in a little bit more quickly now for you or not. And forward. Exhale, half roll back. And forward. And this time, let's go all the way down. And let yourself settle on the ground. Walk your feet in a little bit closer. Make sure that you're standing evenly on your feet. Get your pelvis, your spine nice and lengthened and neutral. And we're going into our pelvic curl. Stay for a breath in. Use your exhale to roll up, feeling the articulation of your spine. Coming into your bridge position. Stay here for a second. And then work your way down through your spine. And release. And again, rolling up. Double check your position for yourself. If you have your camera on, you can actually check your own alignment here. And then roll down. Now on this next one, we're going to stay up there to make it an isometric exercise. Exhale, tilting hips. Rolling up. And we're holding it here. And again, feel free to close your eyes. If you prefer, keep your eyes open. That's absolutely fine. But start to notice the position that you're holding in space and notice the muscles that are supporting you there. So connecting into the heels of your feet specifically, see if you can activate the muscles at the base of your pelvis. So those would be the upper hamstrings, gluteus maximus. Notice the gentle pushing downwards of your arms. Nothing crazy, but your arms are connecting into the floor as well, because that's activating the upper body, the lats. And then always keeping the deep abdominal muscles connected, the transverse abdominis. Stay here for one more moment. Take a breath in. If your eyes are closed, feel free to open them. And then slowly come down through the spine and release at the bottom. Stay here. Both hands come up. Turn the palms to face each other. Now we're going to do something a little bit different today. Glide both arms overhead, keeping the elbows as straight as possible. Now you don't have to go all the way back. If your ribs pop up, if there's any strain in the shoulder, or if your elbows bend, then you stop in that position. And then bring both arms all the way back up again. And again, both arms reach back. Try to keep them symmetrical, especially if you have an injury in one shoulder, then one side may not be as easily movable as the other. So rather just keep them level for now. And now on the last one, take your arms overhead and Stay here. Make sure that you're breathing. And now this is an isometric exercise for the upper body, and it's a muscle called the latissimus dorsi. So it's a huge muscle on the back of our bodies. It goes all the way down to the lower back. It comes out sort of the side. You see it on bodybuilders. It's those big wide wings on the bodybuilders. But interestingly, it connects onto this tiny little point at the top of the arm. So it's actually part of our arm line, our shoulder girdle. And right now, we're using it to control the arm movement back, but because we're staying still, it's become isometric work. Taking one more breath in, and then activate those muscles. Ooh, lifting up. I'm sure you can really feel the upper body there, and you hold. Interlock your fingers, taking your hands underneath your head, giving yourself a little bit of a wiggle of the spine, creating some space, and then settle yourself with the elbows floating and your lower back in a happy place. Stabilize there. Nod your chin. On your breath out, chest lift. Pause for a moment and release down. And again, chest lift. Pause and release. 2 more. Make sure that you're switching on those neck muscles at the front to support the weight of your head. No pulling on your head with your arms. 1 more time, we're going to stay up. Exhale, chest lift, and we stay. No movement. Keep breathing. Every time you exhale, focus on flattening the abdominal wall. So that is going to be supporting your lower back, holding your internal organs in place, and we are working isometrically. I'm sure right about now, hopefully I'm not the only one, your abs are starting to shake a little bit. So we know that everything is working. Can you stay here for just 1 more breath in and out? And then exhale, ooh, and release all the way back. Just press your elbows back for a moment. Give yourself a little bit of a stretch. And then release your hands out. Roll onto your left side and make a little pillow with your underneath arm. So both your knees are bent to start off with. Place your hand onto the shelf of your hip and then take your top leg, stretch it out, and flex the ankle and the foot. So you want to make sure that your bottom obliques are supported, that your chin is lifted, shoulders are down, and that you have that long straight line of your body, and that you're keeping your pelvis nice and neutral and your leg is in line with your hip. So just holding it here, this is now isometric work for this little side bum muscle called the gluteus medius. Just staying here for a few more moments. And if your leg starts to swing forward, it's just telling you that your hip joint is maybe tight or your quadriceps are quite dominant. So just do the best you can to keep your leg in alignment. Now, tighten up the bottom obliques a little bit more and see if you can lift your leg up without collapsing the lumbar spine. So now you're actually shortening that gluteus medius a little bit more. And again, we're just holding it there. We're doing isometric work. So if you've done the sideline series with me before, you know that oftentimes we lift the leg up and down here. It's the same muscle, except now we're just holding it still. We're giving our brains an opportunity to recognize this muscle. And just take 1 more breath, point your toe, and then Bend your knee and give your tushies just a little bit of a rub. Okay, now from here, fingertips to the ground. Straighten both your legs out. I think I might need to move up my mat a little bit. There we go. So again, find that long straight line of your body as best you can. Glue your legs together, and on your breath out, both legs lift up. And release it down. Both legs lift. And release. So as you do this movement, you should be shortening, connecting to the top oblique muscle, your right oblique. It doesn't have to be a big lift, it has to be a focused lift. We're going to do 2 more, and if your neck is straining, just turn the tip of your nose down, yeah? 1 more time, just to release your neck. Lift both legs up, and now we're going to stay here. Now this is isometric work for the top oblique. You may very well feel that little gluteus medius working because you're holding your leg up, and you might actually feel the inner thigh, the adductor on the underneath leg, the left leg working because you're holding your legs together. Stay there, keep breathing energy through your toes and energy through your crown. Taking 1 more breath in and out, feel the connections and releasing everything down. Nicely done. Bend your knees, coming all the way up as if you're sitting in a chair. Let's do 1 thoracic rotation, my favorite release. Right arm comes forward, lift up, and then open up across the chest as you reach all the way back. Stay here for a moment, take a breath in, and exhale all the way to the front. So help yourself up into a seated position. Bring your knees up in front of you, feet up in front of you. Tuck yourself into a tight little ball shape and just take a moment to balance there. Remember that what you can do is close your eyes if you want to give yourself a little bit of a challenge for your balance. And then on your next breath, release, swing your feet around to the other side. So you're going to have both knees bent to start off with, placing your hand onto the shelf of your hip, and then stretching the top leg out. Flex that foot, and then take time to actually set yourself up properly. So the bottom oblique is engaged, chin up, shoulders down, straight line with your body, and your leg is at the same line as your hip. So it was something that my master trainer always used to emphasize, is that 90% of any exercise is the setup. So just take those few extra moments to get into the correct position so that as you start then moving, you're going to be getting the best benefits of the movements. And now from here, that's that little waking up of the gluteus medius. Connect the bottom oblique a little bit more and see if you can lift the top leg up just a fraction higher. Hold it there, finding the connection. So now we're shortening the muscle a little bit, so it's going to start to work a bit harder. Keep flexing the ankle away from you. And again, as best you can, maintain that alignment. If your hips are tight, you might feel that you come forward a little bit. Just work it as much as you can. And remember, this is an opportunity for your brain to recognize the muscle. So I always find it quite fascinating that my left side is definitely much weaker than my right. I've got to do a lot of work on this left side. And it takes me longer to feel the connection on the left side. Stay here for just a few more breaths in and out. We won't be doing any movements here, just holding. And then point your toe, Bend your knee and give your tushies just a little bit of a rub. All right, now from here, fingertips to the ground. Stretch your legs out straight. Again, finding that long straight line of the body. And in your own time, lift and lower both your legs together. So finding that shortening into the top oblique. We're going to do one more. Lift up and hold it here. Isometric contraction. So again, notice what is working for you. Obliques, this little gluteus medius on the side of the left hip, inner thighs maybe on the right leg underneath. See if you can maintain your alignment, energy through your crown, energy through your toes. We're just going to stay for a few more moments. And releasing down. Good. Bend your knees up, sitting in a chair. Cradle the back of your neck, left arm forward, one thoracic rotation. All the way back you go. Stay for a moment. Breathing in. And all the way forward you come. Nicely done. Help yourself up. Bring your feet all the way around. Balance. Tucking yourself into that little ball shape. Taking just a few moments to breathe. And then releasing your feet all the way down. So turn onto your stomachs, lie prone, and you're going to have your legs slightly separated today. Activate the gluteals, don't grip, just activate them so you're supporting your pelvis and lumbar spine. And today I want the elbows lifting up. Hands are going to be on the ground underneath the shoulders. Hover the tip of your nose, and before you go anywhere, I want you to create space and energy through your body. So stretching through the legs, stretching through your crown, and now we're ready to move into a baby cobra. We're going to inhale to come up into a baby cobra, not too high. Feel the squeeze of the elbows, the shoulder blades are squeezed together. And then exhale to release back down. Adjust your body position if you need. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, releasing down. Inhale to come up. And this time, exhale to stay where you are. Feel free to close your eyes if you wish. Anchor your legs to the ground. And see if you can lift your hands off the mat. Nothing is moving. We're holding our extension through the upper back. We are working isometrically. Make sure that you're still getting some oxygen to your brain and to your muscles and your cells. Staying for just a few more moments. If your eyes are closed, you can open them. Place your hands down and lower your head and shoulders. And we're going to immediately go into 2 more repetitions. Inhale, lifting up. Maybe you can feel a more immediate connection. And release down. One more time. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, releasing down. And this time, press yourself up onto hands and knees. Settle yourself back into a resting position, the final resting position of today's class. Walk yourself down. And just again, making any adjustments you need so you're coming into the most restful position for your body. And this is a little bit of a counter pose to the extension of the spine we were doing a second ago, to actually allow yourself to find the curve, the forward flexion of your spine as you settle here for a moment. Let yourself slow down. Become aware of your breath. Become aware of your joints that we have loaded and stabilized today. Become aware of your muscles, your connective tissue, and your skin. Bring your awareness to your energy. How is your energy feeling after the last hour of moving and breathing? Is there a connection between your physical and your energetic bodies? Taking just one more breath in and out. Slowly start to walk your hands backwards towards your knees, making your way upright. And just giving hands a little bit of a shake, slowly coming off your knees and feet. Nicely done, guys. Let me just check in with you all.